I just finished running my monthly income numbers for April, and something changed this month that I wasn't expecting. Not in how much it paid, but in where the income actually is coming from. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Simply Money. Today we're going through my full monthly income portfolio update, where the income came from, what's working, and what's starting to shift. Because this isn't just about how much it pays, it's about whether the strategy actually holds up over time. So let's dive in. For those that are new to the channel, welcome to Simply Money. What I do in this video is I go through my monthly income portfolio, just the income portion, and I look at each of the funds, what investments have been made, anything that's been sold. I look at all the different income sources, and then we look at a total income for the month as well as its trajectory from month over month to see how we're trending. I'm going to start with SCHD. This is a quarterly paying fund. Because of April not having any payment, this one will be very quick. If you want to see updates on SCHD, I have individual updates on that as well on the channel. You can check that out. If you like this sheet, you can get a copy of it down in the link in the description below at Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate all the support everyone gives through that. With SCHD, again, there was no monthly update. I'm just going to show you real quick from the last update at the end of March when it paid the dividend. The current price as of today is $31.34. Our balance over the month has gone up about $8,000 in this portfolio. Not a huge change, just a little bit we're tracking there. We're actually waiting for June when the next payment comes on this one. Let's go over here to WPay, which is now called TOPW, TOPW. They changed the name along with the underlying process and all. This is the last month you will see this. I am going to be bailing on this one. This was somewhat of an experiment, and we're going to go ahead and knock out of this one. Take a little bit of loss. I'm going to do a little bit of loss harvesting on this one for tax purposes and move on to the next thing with this. But just wanted to show you where it's at. You can see the price has come down from $53.87. Currently, as of today, we're sitting at $37.85. That's a loss of about $1,000 on this, and that's with fully reinvesting all the distributions. Let's go over here to one of my favorites. Those that have been following the channel, you've seen some of my updates with CHPY. We have been doing really well. The original price that I bought in at was $55.44. I've had some other buys along the way. This has gone up really well. As of the recording right now, we're sitting at about a 51% total growth, 21% of that coming from share price growth, and then the rest being from distributions being reinvested. And so we've gained just under $8,000 on that and doing really well, enjoying this fund tremendously. This is a weekly payer, and we'll see those payouts here in a moment. We're going to go over all the payouts, so don't leave yet, because here in a minute, after I go over each individual fund and where it's sitting at, we're going to go over the actual payouts each week and look at that. And that's what most of you are watching this for. IWMI, one of my monthly payers. Here you can see that as of today, we're at $50.34. It's down slightly from when the distribution was paid out, but not a whole lot. It's just fluctuating a little bit. But we're up 13.7% on this one totally since October, and the total return, again, 13.7. That's, again, all of these are being totally dripped back in, so we're watching that growth with this one. Then we have YBTC. This is a small position I have here. We're down about $5,000, but with the price being down, we're able to accumulate more shares, and we'll continue to monitor that. As crypto seems to be making a little bit of tick back upwards, we'll see if it makes a recovery or if it's going to continue down for a while before it makes its next bounce. Again, not a big holding here, and we're down pretty significantly as of right now, but we'll continue to monitor that, and we'll see what the income has done for us. We have BLOX. This is a weekly paying, another crypto fund. See, I've been in this one since about October. Again, a small position. We're down about $2,000. But as that price is coming down, we're accumulating funds and we're waiting for that bounce on the crypto market, which is just been down overall, and it does that. It's nothing that I'm sweating at this time. Then we come over to a monthly payer, QQQI. You can see here that we were up on this one about $5,000. The share price is up about 2.9%. Right now it's sitting at about 53.81, and it's just been up and down a little bit on the share price, but it's paying a nice steady distribution on this fund. And then we have SPYI. Here we're up about $5,000 on that one. Share price is up about 2.68%. And again, a very nice consistent payout with the distribution. You can see that averaging 52 cents, and that's exactly what it paid this past month. And then ULTI, which is almost up on its experiment. We've been in this just under a year. We're going to carry this out a little bit longer. It stabilized a little bit over the last few months, and you can see the payments have started coming up slightly. We had gotten down here quite a bit with the payments, and now we're seeing a little bit of increase in payments. Nothing crazy, but we're starting to see a little recovery from our bottomed out position we're in. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm going to try to carry this out until July and hold that, and then see what I do if we get out of that then. So those are the different funds. Here's the accumulation of it. You can see if you're interested in that. Based on the trailing 12-month dividend, it would pay out $72,000. We're looking at about $586,000 in the income portion of the portfolio. And you can see each of the funds and the percentage of the portfolio. And those that know, right here, this is the one that holds the most for me, SCHD. And we'll be trimming that a little bit as we get closer to actually going into retirement, but not a lot. I like the steady growth that it provides. I like the steady income and the income growth that it provides as well. Now, for what people are actually wanting to see, we're going to look at the monthly income. We're going to look at what each one paid. This is the sheet that I use. This one's actually not available. This is just my personal sheet that I use. You can see down here, each month I track what's going on. So the date it paid, what symbol paid, and how much. And this is the weekly amount. So let's just go over this real quick. We have our first weekly pay of TOPW, $58.53. We have CHPY. We have ULTI, YBTC. And I do have a small position of JPY that is not shown on the other chart yet. I will be adding that back in. And some other monthlies that I've added that are not on the previous chart I just showed. Those are positions that I've added over the last month or so. We have JPY I've added, GPIQ and GPIX that are not being shown on that other sheet. But these are income payments that I'm getting from those. JPY 173, which is monthly. GPIQ 104, GPIX 1185. Again, you can just come down. You can see the second week we've got $913. The third week, nice payday because we have these big monthly payers of SPYI at 800, QQQI at 839, and then IWMI at 168, along with all these weekly payments that came in from all these other funds. So it's a great fund that we're looking at here. And for the month, you can see we're at $5,526, and it shows you here each of the funds and how much it paid for the month. And this is without SCHD, our monthly payer. So that's going to bring us over to our cumulative chart, and this is where we're tracking month over month, and we're seeing the impact of this income portfolio. What I want to show you here, especially for those that are new, you can see here in January and February of last year, our payments were very small, and then we had the big payment because I had a lot more in SCHD, and that's when I started looking into this. And then in June, you can see again a big SCHD payment, but quarterly in between, there just wasn't much being paid out. And I trimmed some of my position in SCHD from where it's at now, and you can see that on the chart. If we go back over here, you can see these sells that I did back in September and October, and you can see the price of those. And hindsight, sometimes you wonder, should I have sold then? But they were up and they were doing fine, and I was at the point where I was ready to make my transition and trimming those. So I have no regrets on that. But as we come back over here, you can see where I began going more into the income focused. And so our August, which was not a SCHD payment, you can see the big jump there. Then we go to our SCHD payment in September. And this is where I want you to see, without SCHD in October and November, you can see these bigger payments. And then look at SCHD in December. We went from $5,000, $5,400. Here we're at $7,656, and that was with SCHD and all the other funds. Then you have your in-between quarter payments where we're not getting SCHD, but we're getting all these other payments, and you can see that $5,200, $4,200, and then here in March we got another SCHD payment of $7,250, and now in April, this is our biggest non-SCHD month yet. You have March, December, September, June, and March, which are all including SCHD payments. But if you take those out and you look at April, without SCHD, this has been our biggest payment yet of $5,527. And then we have May without SCHD, and then we'll have June, and we'll be curious to see if we can beat our all-time high of December. And December was a little bit higher because of some different things that were paid out along with SCHD, but we're excited to see what June will be. But I'm really excited on this because we're seeing that trajectory, especially these in-between months, climbing each and every month. You look at last year, because we had these first few months in this first January, February, April, and May, where we didn't have much of the income production, and our total for the year was still fine, $40,000. But now look, we're only 4 months in, and we're already over halfway to that at $22,180. Because our average has gone from $33.51 to $55.45 so far. And we hope to see that continue to climb as we fill in the rest of the year. And then right here, we just have all years combined. So we have 2025 and so far in 2026 that we're tracking and accumulating. And I created this as we began sharing this portfolio. I wanted to create this as a visual so you could see how it grows month over month and track that. And that is what we have here. Do you own any of these funds? Which ones do you own? Which ones are you looking into? Which ones are you in and you want to get out of? Leave me some comments below. Looking at my portfolio, what suggestions do you have? Not saying I'm going to do what you say. We all have to make our own decisions. And just a reminder, this is not financial advice. This is for informational and educational purposes only. All investments come with risk, including the loss of capital, so please do your own due diligence. That is our disclaimer for today. What are your thoughts? Leave me some comments. Let's get some dialogue going. Give me your input. I'll look at that. I always love the feedback I get, most of it anyways. Sometimes there's some feedback. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. I'll look at it, but we're not always going to do what everybody suggests. This is my portfolio, the income portion. I'm very happy with where it's trending right now, and we will continue to monitor this month over month. Again, thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time on Simply Money.